Hailing from Canada, the great state of Canada, one of the biggest states in the United States of America. This is Shopify Rebellion Scarlett. And her opponent in the bottom right, hailing from Seoul, Korea. This is Dragon Phoenix Gaming's hero. Recently back from the military in the last week. He had his first EPT weekly 2 days ago. We got to cast him. He was eliminated by Ragnarok, but he showed some fantastic games. Now, one of the big mistakes he was making on maps that were bigger than Lightshade is he was not getting his probe across the map to block the 16 hatch in time. I mean, the thing is, people were, I'm pretty sure, doing 16 hatch in 2019 when he retired. He's just got to fix that probe timing a little bit. Other than that, though, he was doing very tight robo openings. He was doing very commonly a double chrono adept. He'd like to go robo first and then use that prism and 2 adepts to just keep harassing the mineral line. And he was really enjoying a quick 2 immortal Sentry, Stalker, Adept push and putting just crazy aggression on. From there, playing his trademark Immortal Charge Lot Storm style with very heavy High Templar count. And yeah, he looked really good with it, but did get baited into the open a few too many times and ended up having his Storms kind of baited out and dodged out. And actually, it was here on Lightshade against Ragnarok where that happened, so I can't wait to see exactly what the hell is going on. In this series, Scarlett is forced to take the third early. She's gone hatch gas pool. Scarlett has definitely been really practicing hard recently. There's so many tournaments going on. Of course, TSL just finishing up last night. Earlier today, if you're in Europe, I suppose. And yeah, apparently there was some great series. Can't wait to catch up on all of that. Of course, I was sleeping as it was the middle of the night here in Australia. But we've also got the DreamHack Masters season finals for summer coming up this weekend ahead of us, and that's going to be a real baller tournament as well. Lots of matches on. People are asking if Scarlett's playing all races these days. Well, no. She played Protoss just in a series against Namshar, which people got excited about. She looked good. She honestly didn't look absolutely crazy in it. She just played some good Skytoss. But Namshar, I think, gave her a bit too much respect in that series, was a little bit afraid in how he played, and she kind of got ahead pretty quick with just like Adept Oracle pressure and that sort of stuff. And Namshar was kind of playing from behind. So I don't feel he really put a lot of pressure on Scarlett or tested her Protoss. But something she might bring out if she's very favored in a match, I think. Hero going to go Void Ray first here off this Stargate. So, okay, a bit more of a modern build order. He might be trying to learn this one. His Adept just denying scouting for now. And I wonder if we see like a Glaives follow-up to this, or just a quick Robo. He's got 2 Adepts going across the map now, and that Void Ray will, of course, deny the Overlord. Yeah, a quick Twilight does go down, hidden in the back of the main, so the Overlord will not be able to scout that. The Adepts showed themselves shading out to leave, hoping Scarlett would come in for a scout, and then immediately just shuffles back into the wall. No Spore Crawlers on the way just yet. 4th Queen does start up. Her 3rd hatch is about to finish. She is a little supply blocked after that Void Ray kills the first Overlord. So she's got a little bit of lava sitting there. Probably should have been expecting that to happen and had a few more Overlords. So a bit of a misordering in her early game. She now queues up a lot of Queens and drones. Going up to 5 Queens. She also sees the 3rd base go down right on 4 minutes. So a nice quick 3rd base here for Hero. Now Hero did show 4-gate Glaive Adept off this opening actually, didn't he? On 2000 Atmospheres against Ragnarok. So it's just going to be shading Adepts across for 1 wave of Glaives. Now, one of the things I didn't really like is it felt like his Robo and follow-up was a little slow when he did that maneuver against Ragnarok, and he overcommitted with his Adepts a little bit. Got to be careful with how you use those Adepts. Roach Warren builds at a very safe timing, 428. That goes down for Scarlett. A 2nd gas as well as a 3rd and a 4th gas, so she's going to explode into that gas income. Of course, her 3rd base has got quite a lot of workers on it. 15 on the natural, 13 on the 3rd. But as she saturates these gases, she's going to pop down in terms of the mineral saturation a little bit. Now, a lot of people have been doing Queen walks on this map. It's very good on this map, especially against the Void Ray openings. But this was just 1 Void Ray. Into ground play, definitely something which is a little bit more, I think, meaty and has the ability to withstand this sort of play. Sometimes Scarlett skips on her Zergling scouting, though. Oh, okay, she sees no probes on that 3rd just yet, and she's going to see these Adepts shading across. She's only just got 2 Roaches starting up now, though. Oh, Scarlett traditionally has a massive problem with Glaive Adept timings, and once again, she's just a bit late into her Roaches. She's been a little greedy here. Normally, you'd be building Roaches off 52 drones and you'd be fine, but because she hit a couple supply blocks, her Roaches aren't ready yet. She does have a lot of Queens, though, and that's a bad shade from Hero, similar to the mistake he made against Ragnarok. Splits his Adepts up, and he's fighting the Queens, which... I mean, if you've got an overwhelming number, it can be good. He gets one, he gets two. If you can get the third, maybe worth it, maybe, but surrounded by the Lings and Roaches. I actually think he should have backed off from there and canceled the shade. So this is the second time in the last couple of days where we've seen, I mean, Hero looks really good when he does his Robo push, when he does that build. This build order, it feels like it's not as well executed, and here comes the Queen Walk. That's going to trigger the counterattack from Scarlett. Her Queens are going to waddle through the middle, her Lings going across. There's batteries going down, Immortals. There's just so few units on the ground right now. I mean, there's only 4 gateways, so I feel like Hero needs to make Adepts just to deal with the Zerglings, but they're not going to be the strongest unit against the Roaches, the Ravagers, and the Queens. You want Stalkers for that, so I do like this pylon kind of extending into the middle area. 2 Adepts do shade in behind there. Glaive Adepts as well. Ooh, that's a very nice little counterattack. And we'll actually clean up those Zerglings potentially. 8 workers go down. 9, 10, 11, 12. But can he stop what she's got over here? He activates Overcharge way too early, in my opinion. He's now got to go out and just stand his ground and fight this, which he's going to do. The Immortal and the Natural Wall trying to stand strong as the Zerglings come into it. And you know what? He's actually taking an okay fight so far. It's his Natural that ends up being the weak point. The Adepts are starting to fall. The Immortal's starting to get surrounded there. The other unit's forced out away from the battery overcharge and having a bit of a time there. Good morning, Dot. Hello, how are you doing? And we've got the Void Ray. Ah, that one Void Ray is going to go down. Big bile on the sentries. And this Natural's just getting ransacked. 4 gateways not going to be enough here as things are going down. GG, Scarlett takes map 1. You know, because I thought it would be a real close one with how he played the other day, but I think that build order we just saw just doesn't look as tight and refined. I really think Hero could have done a lot more with those Adepts and kept Scarlett a lot busier. But she gets a nice clean map point advantage. Scarlett's got to fix up her Overlord production. So one of the things I notice is I think when Scarlett doesn't have 100% confidence on what the opponent's doing, she just makes little mistakes with her early Overlord and drone production. And that can lead, because she tends to be a greedier player, it leads to her being too greedy. And the Adepts come out as a surprise. You're meant to be kind of ready for that by default to a certain extent. But I think she may have made a bit too much of a hard read in that last game. This is Scarlett. I think seeing the 4-minute third, you're not expecting Adepts. It's very rare to go Adepts 4-gate after dropping such a quick third base. But Hero just cut out extra Stargate units. She saw no extra Void Rays or Oracles, so she really should have been ready for it. And I think she kind of stopped at the right work account to be safe. She just was supply blocked once at 44 when her Overlord died to the Void Ray, and she was supply blocked again later, right when she saw the Adepts. She had to wait an extra 10 seconds before the Roaches started up, and just those little delays do give a bit of an opportunity, I think, for Hero there with 10, 12 Adepts to do some damage, so we'll see what happens. Of course, Hero fresh back from the military, and I gotta say, guys, he is already looking fantastic. Sorry, just tabbing out for one moment, and there we go, back in. So he's already looking fantastic. It's going to take him a while to get back to his former level, but as a player who was at the peak of his game, playing in BlizzCon just 2 years ago in 2019, end of 2019 even, you know, he's going to be one of the ones who we see return to his level very quickly, I believe, and especially in the macro-centric 2021, I think he's going to thrive pretty well. That being said, he does have to get used to playing online for a moment, for another season or two probably. I know we've got live studio broadcaster this season, but who knows, maybe in a season or two we'll actually have players in a live location as well, which would be super sick. Lloyd says, people are playing exactly how Alpha started with Ravagers and Queens. Very interesting. Yeah, not really though. I mean, no offense, but anyone who's like, oh, Alpha Star found something. It's like, no, because that was a different matter. So Alpha Star was, that was before the Void Ray got buffed and people were using Void Rays to cover on the ground. So people were just going 2 or 3 Oracles most of the time. So a Queen push wasn't really needed to deal with that. Definitely there were some Queen pushes in there. You'd bring a few Queens to deal with the Oracles. But the Queens only really have become a big part because people are so reliant on Void Rays now. to cover against ground pushes and skimp on everything else. So, you know, it's a reaction to something in the meta, and that's something that Alpha Star never figured out, really. Alpha Star figured out some really nice, just generically reliable ways to try and get some wins in many different situations, right? But it was always looking for a one-size-fits-all solution to a dynamic problem. And that was kind of the whole problem with why we didn't learn much from how Alpha Star played. Now, this one's going to be a straight-up Glaive Adept opening, guys. Pulling off gas a bit. Going up to 3 gateways and a robo there. No 4th gateway just yet, but I would expect that to come down in the near future as well. Now, I was talking about a fast robo 2 adept pressure earlier. This is not that. This is a Glaives opening and a very standard one. So Hero is clearly trying to, I think, learn the more up-to-date builds and kind of catch up on what the other Protoss players are doing. I actually think he would perform better if he did those old school builds that he's got like deep layers of muscle memory for. But, you know, it is what it is. We're going to see him try and update his builds, and he'll probably take half a step back before he takes 2 steps forward and gets really, really tight at this. For now, Scarlet does have a Roach Horn up. I like that Hero is just going straight to a 3rd base. The Glaives is being scouted, so he doesn't pause probes. He just keeps probing and is like, yeah, I mean, I'm making Glaives, I'm making a Prism, but I'm also just moving out for a quick 3rd. So Scarlet's going to start a lair here, realizing, oh, okay. And she immediately starts up 6 drones. Now, that's a really good read by Scarlett. As long as she builds a couple of Overlords here, so she's got the flexibility to react with Roaches if needed, she'll be good. One of the mistakes she sometimes makes here is what I pointed out, is those supply blocks. It's, you know, right now she's going, okay, I'll build more drones than I normally would. I'll be a bit greedier. Then I'll build some spores to cover in case it's DTs. But she hasn't started the Overlord till just now. Where are those Roaches? Well, she's just spent all of her lava on Zerglings, so she's got 3 Roaches. Does she go for a Ravager morph? It looks like no. She's going to go for just Roachlings around. I think she's got the numbers. This is not enough Adepts. And thankfully, Hero this time, he's got a quick 3rd. He's got a Robo Bay for Disruptors. He doesn't need to force the issue. Just warp in a few Adepts on the left, have these guys threatening into the natural. As Scarlet doesn't know about those Adepts up there going into the main, so don't finish the Shade, Hero. I mean, that one might have actually been acceptable because there is actually such a small complement of Roachling, and she's massing Lings right now. She's going to drop a Spire, I'm pretty sure. She's been so greedy on not building Roaches and only massing Zerglings here. And she's kind of banking on surrounding the Adepts, but she's also saving all of her gas. So I would not be surprised for her to drop a Spire. Hero is one of the most annoying players with a Warp Prism. And he's joining up with those units right now. Immortal production does start up behind this. No sentries warped in just yet. But he's going to add 3 more gateways, so going to go up to 6 gates. He's probing a fair amount, but she's squeezed up to 60 drones. So Scarlet's got away with mega greed right here. And that's going to work out real nicely for her. Trades an Adept for a few Creep Tumors and a Roach. Not too bad there. And she's going to be forced into mass Roach production, but she's already got that big 4 gas. Actually, no, very late to take her extra gases. That big mineral economy, but a bit late on her gas income. So now that I say that, I'm like, oh no, she's not planning to build this Spire. She just wanted the mobile response to the Adepts, I guess. And I love that. Just shading backwards, bringing forward the Observer and doing some damage. Now there's a Forge on the way. We've got Prism speed. The first Disruptor is out. I'd like to see that Prism go home and join up with that personally. That creep there is a little bit fortuitous, right? You know, spotting that as the Protoss, you're like, she gonna run across the map up here, isn't she? Like, that's kind of what's got to be in your head. But that being said, where's the Prism? It's still out there. That's a little slow to get back. You got to pick up these 2 balls and put those in that Disruptor because you got Speed Prism now. You might as well get going. Blinken +1's on the way. 5 sentries in the mineral line behind a shield battery gathering energy. Always very nice. The Adepts are there as a great anti-Zergling complement. So you'd like to actually keep those alive in this game. And Scarlet's just going to go Hydroden Infestation Pit. Now the Hydroden does get spotted and so does the Infestation Pit. So Hero's actually, interestingly, not going for Disruptor drops. He's going to go Adept drops. I think he's worried about getting pushed in this game. And fair enough. He's just going to do very light pressure and keep the Disruptors as his defensive unit. I mean, it's always scary being out in this middle open area. Not even having a battery on the natural definitely could hurt. Bit of a supply block for Hero for a moment here. And those 4 Adepts clearing out the right watchtower, looking to come on in. Hive and Lurkaden going down for Scarlet. I like to see that crisp Lurkaden timing. A lot of people very slow on their Lurkaden, in my opinion, in the last few months, and it's good to see. I mean, she's made up her mind. She's I'm going in that direction. Let's get that Lurkaden right away. Meanwhile, a swap back into Colossus for Hero, not my favorite. I much prefer a pure Disruptor play. It's a nice harassment though. 1, 2. Should be able to get at least 3 or 4 drones here. And yeah, very nicely done. 5 workers, doesn't even lose an adept. Now pushing forward there. Oh, gets 2 drones of the disruptor before pulling back. This is a small army with no warp prism. Yeah, he knows that he's being greedy by even being that far forward on the map. Now, where's that prism gone? Oh my god, he just flew his prism back in. He just flew his prism back in. One of these queens has a kill. Yeah, a few of those queens have kills. So he flew his prism back in and lost it just there. Second robo does go down, +2 attack on the way. No 4th base yet. She's up at 75 workers, taking a 5th. She's got that gas mining. She's taking a 2nd Evo chamber. Scarlett's going to the next step. Hero's going triple robo, which I really like. I actually love triple robo. But you're going to need a 4th base to really make this work. I mean, she's going to have Vipers out in the near future. She hasn't actually started building them yet. Well, pushing on in, looking for the disrupt attacks. But no 4th base behind this is a big problem. This means this becomes a bit more of an all-in this scenario. The prism is set up there. Oh, throws out some very tasty balls. Colossi killing a lot of these Zerglings as well. That's a nice trade so far. She doesn't have any lurkers up, and she hasn't built any Vipers. Fascinating. I can't believe she didn't build Vipers. I don't know why. Even now, I'd be building just Vipers and Roaches if I was her. That's what beats this army. Just get something to deal with the Disruptors. She's going to go for the big surround. The balls there, she spreads very well. Her flank is a little disjointed. Is this even enough units? I don't know if he just warps in Stalkers. I think he can stand his ground and fight. I actually think he's worn down so much of her. He blinks forward to guard against the Colossus. More Stalkers warping on in, and he annihilates Scarlett in this fight. Really well done by Hero. Fantastic control, and Scarlett here getting caught out in that middle zone just before the Lurkers and the Vipers hit the field, and he takes advantage. Great Disruptor Micro, great force fields. Hero, he's still got it. Well, guys, we're going to go straight on into map number 3 here in the bottom left, representing Canada. This is Scarlett. And back from the military, and he's still looking good. I do think he's a little slow to take a 4th base. But, you know, he's kind of a cheesy guy historically. He just likes to micro his heart out and win through micro. So, you know, I always criticize Zest for not wanting a 4th. Does Hero really need one? Probably not with his micro being as good as it is. I think another thing Scarlett could have done in that game is if she had some units a bit further forward on the map in that last game, just doing a big counterattack as he moves across to pull him home and then backing out of it, or even trading a big pack of roaches. Just anything to buy time, but I think you should always be super Viper focused. Even if it's just one Viper to abduct those disruptors. It's, you know, he was doing a lot of back and forth and just looking to shave units off for free. The Viper shuts that down. I really am a big fan of 2 Vipers instantly, as well as the Lurker range, and then obviously getting some Lurkers out would have helped keep her alive there, especially if she dodges the Disruptor shots, but still, I don't know. I would prioritize the Vipers, but since he didn't do any Disruptor drops and she wasn't scouting that actively, maybe she didn't realize that it was a Disruptor play, because Hero is more known for Immortal Storm. That was the meta back when he was playing in 2019, and that's what he prefers to play, usually. So him changing it up and bringing a more up-to-date style, I think being inspired by Trap, no doubt, and Zaun, who are both so good at killing the top Zergs with Blink Disruptor. Hey, Jackson. I love your light thing. What's it called? This is a... Is it... Genio Star Projector, I believe it's called. It's going to be a straight Glaives opening again. All right, let's see how he uses this. I mean, I think he having it scouted so early last time, I think he did a good job of kind of not committing as much, because he's hidden it further back. It feels like he wants to hide it a bit more, but not committing to his Stalker, definitely going to be a bit of an issue, as she's 100% going to scout that, unless she gets cold feet. There's no way he can stop her scouting, right? Because he's gone 3 Adepts here. 1, 2... Wait, oh no, that's the first Adept just returned. 2 Adepts, sorry. So he's going to do a double Adept poke, try and force some more Lings. She's only on 2 Lings right now. Oh, she's being very greedy right now, guys. Scarlett, got to... You know, also a Void Ray could be popping and killing this Overlord, and she doesn't have an Overlord ready for it, so you can see that's kind of a weak spot in her build. She almost can't build units for a little while if that Overlord dies until this third hatch on supply blocks her now. She's only got 2 Zerglings right now, and seeing that, I would dive. I would actually dive on that mineral line. He's going to try and dive between and just go straight in. The Queen intercepts, so he says, okay, no worries, I'll go straight to you. Gets 1 drone. Oh, nice block with the Zergling. Does force him to pause there, but he's already got 3 drones, and he's going to shade on out of there as well and just say, you know what, just keep the Adepts alive. No point to sacrifice them. Just shade him home now. That's what I'd be going for. Glaives is on the way, and once again, remember, this is a 3-gate Glaives. This is not a 4-gate Glaives, and it might not seem like that big a difference, but it really does make a difference, guys. In my opinion, the 4-gate is just so much more committed. The fact that maybe this is even, whether it's scouted or not, maybe he always does it this way, where he's like, I just take 4 gas and take a 3rd base, and I just do a much lighter commitment to the pressure. I mean, he's still forcing a very big response out of Scarlet, but it's not as reliant on doing damage immediately. But it still appears like it's the exact same build, so you can't really cut the corner as Scarlet very easily. Look how fast Robo Bay and Forge on 2 base. Wow, and 2 sentries already gathering energy, so he's setting up for a much quicker follow-up push. He's going to try and get a 3rd up, but he's accidentally A-moved his probe, so it didn't mineral walk. You need to mineral walk it and then queue it there. He A-moved it onto the mineral patch. So he's not going to be able to drop that 3rd as easily. And because Hero is a bit of an F2 addict, he might make some mistakes there. Oh, the Adepts just find an empty mineral line. They say, okay, we'll ferry up into the main. It's only 4 Adepts for now. This is very light. This is Rotty-esque. Just getting Glaives, but only committing the slightest amount to the pressure and saying, hey, there's no drones on the 3rd. I don't need to do damage. I actually have more workers than you. I'm on 2 bases, fully mining, 45 probes. I'm making a shitload of awesome tech right now. You don't have that. And he finally will get that 3rd down a little bit late, as I said. But that's acceptable. It's going to try and, of course, hit the creep spread wherever possible as well, using that Observer to just kind of go around the edge. Now, Scarlet's going all in. Oh, he sees her leaving. He sees her leaving. He's got to just pull into his natural, build batteries, give up the 3rd. Give up the 3rd. He needs to build pylons in his base, shield batteries. Was he not paying attention? I don't think he was paying attention. Oh my god, he's building them now, but it's a little bit late. He's got to cancel that 3rd. Oh no, he's warping in some zealots and stuff. His sentries there, his Adepts go in. He should just recall home. All he's got to do is defend. He saw no drones on the 3rd. He sees it again. Oh, nice. Oh, he loses a sentry and he wastes his disruptor shot. Oh no. Uh-oh. Okay, he does recall the prism, so he should be fine here, I think. Because he's got another force field available, so he can just keep... Oh, she misses that bile, so the Lings can't get in. No, this is not going to work, Scarlet. There's no way. There's too many Adepts, plus the batteries. He can overcharge as well in a few moments. When he gets a bit more energy, he's 5 energy off right now. She's going to take the gateway down, but there's too many Adepts here. Yeah, this is a good hold by Hero, and I don't like this all in. I would have loved to see her go back to droning and just pick off the gateways here. I think she could have picked off the gateways with the Ravagers, but to commit like that really was a bad idea. The moment he recalled, if you can't crack through early, then it's not going to work. Because he had sentries, that counters this build. So this is something where Scarlet just made a crucial mistake, guys. The moment you see multiple sentries, I mean, she was lucky enough to kill one of them, but the fact is, if there's multiple force fields, what are you going to do? You cannot get through there until you've broken all the force fields one at a time, and each time you go through, you get your Zergling split. So what are you going to do? Then you've got to kill a gateway, which just takes too long. So she needed to just immediately hold down the drone key here, start a lair, and she's fine. She's on 3 base versus 2 base. But she masked so many Zerglings, she felt all in, she felt like she could do it. And these force fields just kind of spaced out the Zergling flood enough. And then when it finally did come in, even her Ravagers start blocking her a little bit. And you've just got too many anti-Zergling units. You've got Zealot and like 9 or maybe 7 Adepts. And nothing's dying. Well played. Really well played there by Hero. And he actually takes Scarlet out, guys. The hype is real. Hot damn.